Is there a feud between Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli? It's been spoken of in the past. Is it bubbling to the surface, or is this just an equation that's being badly handled by the players and the administration? I've got some really sharp insights on the news track. I want to welcome Indian cricketing legend and India Today's cricket expert, Sunil Gavaskar. He's one-time colleague in the team. Kirti Azad joins us on this broadcast as well. One of India's foremost writers and cricket, Ayaz Menon, is with us. Nikhil Chopra is with us, and two of the biggest cricket aficionados in our newsroom, Vikrant Gupta and Rajdeep Sardesai. Rajdeep, ironically, I just remembered we had Mr. Gavaskar and you talking about the same issue, and we're back once again discussing whether the rift between Kohli and Rohit Sharma is now simmering to the surface in a way that you simply can't run away from the story.
Probably because, Rahul, you find it far more interesting and exciting than discussing Narendra Modi or Rahul Gandhi. You know, Kaun Banega Pradhanmantri seems less interesting at the moment than Kaun Banega Kaptaan. But look, the manner in which it's played out, as you rightly said, is unfortunate. But there is a history to it, and that's where Mr. Gavaskar comes. Let's be honest, in the 1980s, everyone who was observing Indian cricket thought there was this huge rift between Mr. Gavaskar and Mr. Kapil Dev. And when Kapil Dev was dropped after that shot that he played against England in 1984, people were convinced Mr. Gavaskar was behind him, behind the whole decision. It took 25 years later that I finally understood that Mr. Gavaskar had nothing to do with it. But in that period, everyone was convinced that Mr. Gavaskar was behind the dropping of Kapil Dev. And there were these two giants of Indian cricket like Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli have. And just one more thing, this goes back historically, go back to 1932, the first test in which India played. Kaun Banega Kaptaan was a big issue. Originally, Maharaja of Patiala was to go. Then it was for he and Vizianagaram, the two Maharajas. Both eventually didn't go. Then Limdi and Porbandar went. Porbandar was to be the captain. He was simply not good enough. And to his great credit, before the match at Lord's, realized that he was not good enough and made C.K. Naidu, was the best Indian player at the time, the captain. So the captaincy has always been a crown of thorns, and therefore always interesting for cricket observers. Ki Kaun Banega Kaptaan. And then when you have these two figures like Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, one the incumbent, the other the challenger, it makes for very interesting viewing. And then what's happened in the last 24 hours with Rohit dropping out of the test match and Virat now probably not playing one-day cricket, you wonder whether this is a repeat of what happened with Mr. Gavaskar and Kapil Dev in the 1980s. Is there smoke or is there some fire?
Well, there's definitely smoke. Is there a fire below it or not? That's the critical question.